Our last inductee, teammate of Zach's, and a very special player for me, for sure. I knew about Drew before he got to high school, but I first really got to know him when he got to Wiley High School. I actually called him up to the varsity early in his freshman year. I believe it was at the Naaman Forest tournament. We made the later rounds of the tournament. We're running out of pitching, so called him up. He came in and pitched for us. I don't remember how he did that first day, but I could bet it was pretty good because he was always successful for us. He had a combined win-loss record of 34-13 as a pitcher for the Pirates over a 4-year career. Including in that is a 15-2 record as a junior when he was unanimous first-team All-District and first-team All-State. I talked when I was introducing Zach that in that playoff series where we played in Paris and North Lamar, Athens, Mesquite Poteet, Denton Ryan, and Highland Park, those were all 3-game series, and Drew won at least one game in all of those series, and he very well probably, I don't remember, but probably saved a game or two along the way as well. Just the kind of competitor that he was. In his senior year, he won 8 games and was again named first-team All-District and All-State. One of the most important stats to me, looking back with Drew, is you talk about what do kids do when everything's important. The game's on the line, the season's on the line. What do? Drew had an overall playoff record as a pitcher at Wiley High School of 8-0 with a combined ERA of 1.19. So, as a coach, that's pretty comforting to know that you're going to send somebody out that no matter who you're playing, you're going to have to score 1 or 2 runs and you're going to win. And that's the way I felt, and I would say that Steven and Zach probably support that as well. Not many balls hit out in the outfield when Drew was pitching. I usually don't share personal stories, but I am going to share one. Drew broke his hand. I'm not really sure how he broke his hand, but he broke his hand. Actually, I am sure how, but I'm not sharing it with you guys. But he broke his hand and showed up at the field the next morning for a Saturday game and said, "Coach, I fell and broke my hand." I said, "Well, Drew, we didn't get home from Paris last night till after midnight." "What?" "Coach, I just fell and broke my hand." So I said, "All right." So I always used my number 2 pitcher in the first game of a series and always had my best pitcher in game 2, either to try to end the series or stave off elimination. So Drew was supposed to pitch that Saturday at noon. So Coach Griffin and I are there, we're talking, and then Drew comes back, and I don't know who helped him, but he's got his hand wrapped up in tape and all kinds of stuff. And he said, "I think I can go." And I said, well, not with that white tape on your hand. There's a rule. You can't have anything on your pitching hand. So our trainer at the time, Richard Davis, said, "I have an idea. I'll be back." So Coach Davis goes down somewhere and brings back about 6 packages of super glue. He super glued Drew's broken pinky to his ring finger, and Drew pitched in that game, not only that game, but also in the Highland Park series, or for the rest of the season. And about every 2 innings, sweat would break it loose, so Coach Davis would dry it off and glue it back. So that's the kind of competitor that he is. He wasn't going to let his teammates down because he was injured. So after high school, or actually in the spring of that last year, the 2003, Drew was selected in the 34th round by the New York Mets. Instead of signing out of high school, though, he chose to attend the University of Texas, where he attended in 2003 and 2004 and played for legendary coach Augie Garrido. He was then selected later in the 2005 Major League Draft again, this time by the Boston Red Sox in the 21st round, I believe. And sometime about this point is when the injury occurred, torn labrum, torn rotator cuff, some pretty significant injuries, and unfortunately he was never able to get back right and able to take advantage of his opportunity and ability. I have no doubt he would have been successful. He also tried to play again some at Navarro Junior College for Skip Johnson at the time. And again, the injury derailed what could have been a really special career for him. Drew is one of the most competitive people you've ever been around. He thought he was a really good hitter. He wasn't really, but he always wanted to play first base when he wasn't pitching. So we'd go round and round about that. But I will say, he had the uncanny ability of just when you think he's not going to do anything, he would hit a home run, and then I had to listen to that and start all over again how good of a hitter he was. So, but he did play a lot of first base for us. He was kind of one of the leaders of the team. Everybody, followed him. Again, I said they knew that when he was on the mound, we had a very good chance to win, and more times than not, we did. He certainly did his part. Drew's parents are Biff and Tammy Johnson. Drew lost his father a few years ago, but I know he'd be very proud of you today. Drew's married to Karen Johnson, and they have 2 daughters, Ashlyn 3 and Audrey 1. And I know they're here today. And again, I'll say that I know much of my success as a coach was due to great players that I had, like Drew Johnson, Zach Scruggs, Stephen Pierce, and many others. And I'll say one more time, it's very, very comforting as a coach to know that when you have players like these guys, particularly Drew, somebody that's going to have the ball in their hand every pitch, knowing that they were going to give you a chance to win. And I tell people all the time, when I had people like Drew pitching for me, I was a really great coach. The one year I didn't have a very good year is I didn't have any pitching, and I was a terrible coach. Coaches get too much credit, too much blame, but it's special people like Drew, Zach, and others on those teams that made coaching a pleasure. So, Drew, congratulations. Come on up.